I have not made a video in forever, and this is audio, and that means that Nightmareballer is here with me. Say hello.
How y'all doing?
And so why are we here? Well, we're here because AMC finally dropped the Preacher trailer. And for those of you that wonder, if you know me and Markeem, you wonder how we are so much alike. One of the first things that I think we ever agree way back in the day when we were on Skype when a big giant call, because I can remember because I think Chase, was it like the next day went out and bought like the first book.
Yeah, cause I remember you referenced it. I was like, "You talking about preacher?" And then we just started talking about preacher, and then the next day Chase bought it. I remember.
And he was just like, "This is the most greatest thing ever." And we're like, you're not even to the good stuff yet. You're just at book one." So
Yeah.
they announced the trailer, they showed the trailer, and then of course the one good thing about the trailer was that the first Preacher book jumped to like the number one on their like bestsellers list, which that's awesome.
Yeah, that was and it stayed there for like almost a week on the Amazon bestseller list. That was cool.
You know, though I think most of those people have no idea what they're getting in, and they're gonna get a bit of a shock.
Especially if they just saw that trailer and was like, "Yeah, let me check out the." Yeah, okay.
So basically, me and Markeem are huge fans of the comic, like huge fans of the comic. And there's lots of things that that trailer ha- did that were very like not the comic. And I understand it was the first trailer. I understand that it's the first thing we've seen, and they're just introducing the concepts to everybody. You know, like for
But
the
they didn't.
exactly. They didn't explain what's really going on. And my biggest gripe, which is like the first thing, and if you didn't know what the story is and you don't know the characters, because this is a very character driven story, because you basically have three characters. You have uh, uh, Jesse,
Jesse, there you go.
who is the preacher, and that's who you saw in the trailer. You've got the Irish guy, who's Cassidy, and then you have Tulip, who is Jesse's girlfriend. And the story really is about them and their relationships, and the relationship between all three of them, and then their kind of misadventures and a bunch of other crazy, wild shit that happens to them.
Don't worry, we won't give up too
Too
much
much,
that happens
yeah,
in the
yeah,
comic.
yeah. So, but
I'll try
anyway,
not to at least. I'll
yeah.
try.
But like the first thing they did, if you never saw the comic, you wouldn't realize this. But you know, they do the little monologue where he's talking to the kid, and the kid wants him to to beat up his dad because he's heard that before he was a preacher he did things. One of the big things of the comic is you don't know. You just know that Jesse is a badass. You don't know why he's a badass. You don't know how he's a badass. You don't know why he turned into a preacher. You don't know any of that stuff, and nobody knows any of that stuff either. And that's like a major
Like
story.
like like it was like almost a running gag in that first book. Like oh, you're far away from a church.
Yeah,
You're a
ex-
man of God, and where's your where do you practice and all that. And
yeah,
none of that in that trailer.
yeah. None of that. Um, and you had a lot of Cassidy, which I can understand because he's a major focal point of the whole
He's
story.
the fan favorite.
Yes,
Everyone loves Cassidy.
yes. You didn't have a lot of Tulip, and that kind of sucks because she is like so important to this story, and people do not understand how utterly awesome she is. And if they did a good job, and she is utterly awesome, people are going to be freaking out how just much of a as much as you saw Jesse being a badass in that trailer, she's even more of one.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so.
So yeah, and the other thing that it really didn't explain really well is the story's really a western.
Well, I don't know. They kind of got the setting. I would
Yeah,
say,
but
kind of.
it's really a western. Which, if this is a success and we go all the way to the end, I'm telling every guy out there right now, you're gonna have a Field of Dreams moment times like 10. Am I wrong?
No, no. That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
Is the way this thing ends, you're gonna be like, what?
Oh yeah, man. It's. I don't want to ruin it, but yeah, it's gut wrenching.
In a good way, but it's um,
Like if you don't get a little misty eyed, like I don't know. You might need to seek help, man. I don't know.
yeah. But I mean, and there is a very huge supernatural element to the story, which
That was my biggest gripe with the trailer. None of that. Not
yes,
even a hint of it.
which is
Nothing.
kind of a big deal because the whole reason why they go on this kind of crazy adventure is because of the supernatural element of the story. Um,
Like I would think even in the little thing they would show. At least I thought. Spoiler, by the way. I'm sorry, but I thought they would at least show that Cassidy was a vampire. They didn't even do that.
well, if you freeze it after he like jumps from the plane, he's basically setting out in the sun and he's watching his hand burn. But you
Oh,
have to,
okay. Well, I gotta look again.
yeah, but
Oh,
you've got it happens like you've got to like sit there and you got to like freeze frame the video to be able to see like really what's going on. And the other thing is when me and him first saw it, when me and Marquine first, we both thought the same thing because Cassidy goes jumping out of the plane. Well, we thought that was something completely different because
and if it was what we thought, oh my god.
it'd be like you're doing this in season one. How are you doing this in season one? Because there is somebody does go flying from a plane at some point in this story, and it's like super duper mega insanely important. So,
Yes.
but yes, Cassidy's a vampire, which you find out later. Um, Tulip is actually a hit as an assassin, as a hit woman, which you find out as the story goes on. Um, her and Jesse were boyfriend and girlfriend before he was a preacher, and so for like the first book, she's completely pissed off at him because he just up and left and she doesn't know why. I'm trying to think of there's the whole yes the supernatural stuff with the angels. I am curious who we're gonna get because there is a saint in this story. I'm curious who they are going to get to be said saint.
You know who I would. It won't happen though.
Who do you who do you want?
You know who I want to be the character we're talking about. We talk about this all the time.
Oh well, yeah, it's not gonna be him. He can't. He's not gonna do a TV show.
I know.
I mean, it's him because
Pretty much, yeah. Did
it's
you see
him.
him at WrestleMania?
I mean, it's him.
I'm talking about the Undertaker, y'all. If y'all didn't
It's it's
can't pick up on
it's
that.
it's pretty much him. But yeah, I mean, um, and let's see what. But that's pretty much it. And there's all sorts of weird. This if they're honest to the book, then there will be lots of pissed off people because it will offend a lot of people.
Well, it's a lot of like it's I don't want to say and well you know what yeah I guess you got to say a lot of anti God in the book like
Oh yes,
seriously
I mean
like like
yeah
because he's the villain.
yes
He's the
yes.
villain.
Believe it or not, God is the villain when it all comes down to it. I know that sounds weird. It works in a really strange.
Well, I wouldn't say God. I think it's more the idea of God,
Yeah, but
like not necessarily God. That's why I think they. That's why I think I didn't necessarily get offended because
yeah,
it was more, the idea of what we think of as God
right.
that is the villain.
Yeah. Um, and it's pretty crazy. But yes, there's vampires. There's possessions. It's a pretty big part of the book.
And I hope it's told the same way, where they give us a little bit, and then like in the middle of like each season
Mm-hmm.
or so, we maybe get like an origin episode about one of said characters we see, or
See,
you know
like
something like that.
like every like there's a book, one of the comics, if you get one of the graphic novels called Ancient, what is it? Is it Ancient Histories or U.S. history or American history?
I don't remember, Josh.
But anyways, it's a whole book of nothing but that, of kind of all of these not secondary characters, but kind of secondary characters that are important, and kind of telling their origins and all of that sort of thing. So
Now I don't expect him to do everything. There's some characters where
oh no,
I,
I think
I don't think the Custer clan is gonna show up. I don't think
you
that's gonna
don't.
happen.
Oh, I think that's gonna happen.
But not. Come on, Jack. They can't do.
I think
What
because they have to
that's
explain.
my favorite part of the book. They can't do that. They
Yes,
can't.
I figure that I figure the Marquis, which is in book one, they're gonna none of that's gonna be in the book. Pretty much all of the overly crazy sex stuff will probably be that's gone, and that's not all that important to the book anyway. So or the story. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. But now you've got to do the cluster because you've got to do
Well, yeah, that's how Tulip and
yeah,
Jesse get
yeah,
officially back together. That's
yes.
true, but man, like that, like I would want to see it, obviously, but man, I don't know. I don't know.
Because you have to explain. Because well, here's another thing: is is the fourth character gonna be in the show?
Um, he probably won't look the same.
I doubt it.
I would imagine.
Or they will probably get sued.
Yeah, yeah,
But even if they just kind of never they just show him from the back, you know what I mean?
yeah,
They never because in the comic you never see him.
yeah. Yeah, true that. True that.
You never see him. They never call him by his real name. It's always kind of his other name.
Boy, speaking in code is just
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah,
that's a major
you
start.
guys should all read Preacher.
Yes, it
Seriously,
is. It
one of
is.
the best series ever. Like,
Yeah,
period.
it's my favorite of all time. I will clearly say
And
that.
even if you don't like it, it's just something that you need to read to say you've read and didn't like. To be
Yes,
honest with you.
yeah. Because the thing with this is what I would say. I know a lot of people will read like Sandman, and I will admit, even though I think it's amazing and I love it, that it is hard to get through parts of Sandman. The thing with Sandman is that the highs of Sandman are like completely crazy high,
Yeah, I agree.
but then
Some
it's
of the
got
best stuff ever.
and then but it's got some stuff that's not so great. Preacher
Well,
is a
I think in comparison to everything, I wouldn't say not so great. 'Cause in
yeah,
comparison.
yeah,
I think the drop off
is
is real in that.
yeah. Where
Like
I
it's still good, but like it's not what you just read. A
you're
lot of
right.
that happens.
Where in Preacher, I think it's pretty steady. I think it's a lot more like Astro City, where it's like it's all just really steady and really great, and it just you know sometimes you get really
And
good, and then maybe it won't be quite as good, or maybe you won't like it quite as much, but it's not like horrible. So it's just like it stays
yeah,
pretty
I
consistent.
agree. And it also it's a lot of I felt like because I read it in singles, like I read them all like in singles. I didn't read them as they came out, but I read them all as singles,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt like I got so much bang for your buck after each issue.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like it was just it was
it's like
that amazing.
yeah. But no, there's a lot of stuff in the trailer. Now, if you were someone that knew nothing about the show, I think you would think the trailer was really good. It's just there's just things that make me just because I'm such a big fan of the comic and I love it so much that I'm just like, you know,
You sound like me talking about The Walking Dead.
yeah, it's like that's kind of what I'm scared of is that they're gonna, that they're gonna go, well, we need to change
Because
all of this.
every week I'm on Twitter. Oh my God, why did they?
You know,
Every fucking week, never.
well,
I
I
hope
will be.
Preacher. I can't take. AMC doing that twice. I just can't. I can't take it.
Well,
Like the two things that I love to death, I can't take that.
I am shocked that
They,
so many people that read the comic read of Walking Dead stayed with the story when the biggest
yeah,
change happened.
I think the biggest change just happened.
Oh, okay.
Like the thing they just did is the biggest departure. I won't ruin that because I know a lot of people watch that show, but if you
That's
didn't see it,
that's surprising.
that was some bullshit. But we will get into that. Jesus, man. But I can't take them doing it. Don't do that to Preacher, man. Like I'm already upset. They did that to the. I can't take them doing that to Preacher, John. I just can't. I can't. I may
Well,
never watch that network again if they do that.
you know,
Seriously.
our space is at least in there, so that gives you some hope.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, gives you some hope.
I just wish they would have, cause like if you just watch the trailer at face value, it looks like a typical crime
AMC,
drama,
yeah,
but it's not. It's so not.
it's not. It's not. There's they've got like secret sects going after them, angels, not so much demons.
And I know what y'all gonna say. Well, it's just a teaser trailer. What did you expect? Like I expected more than that. Like I know it was, it was about a minute and 30 seconds of actual footage. You can cram
Yeah,
everything. You
it,
know what I'm saying, just come on, man. Like I know it's a teaser of the pilot, but if that's the pilot, I'm a little upset.
yeah,
Not gonna lie.
yeah. It's like really, I mean, that's what you're gonna do. Yeah, I just,
How you feel about the cast?
I thought everybody except for the girl playing Tulip.
Oh man, you don't like Ruth Negga? That
No,
chick
no, no,
is
no, no, no,
beautiful, man.
no, 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 no. I like her. I don't know if she's gonna be able to pull it off though. Because
I mean,
because the
I
thing
don't know because you're right. You're right.
because
Well, I mean, I don't know because she was just, the strong, you know, deceptive, silent type. She kind of did that on Agents of Shield, man. Kind of.
that's true. That's kind of because
Except
there's
well,
that
in
point.
a different way. In a
There's that
different way.
point where they've got to that switch gets flipped and she turns
Oh,
into
that that
something.
that moment, they better do that exactly the same. Like, don't change because that freaked me. I was like, where did this shit come from? My God, man.
It's
They
what?
can't change that at all. They got to do that the same exact way.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because the thing about that is it'll make everybody just feel like crap. It'll make everybody watching that show because they you rooted for somebody. You were like, this is awesome. I love this person, and then
Nope.
nope. I want every bad thing possible to happen to this said person.
But by
Yes,
redemption happens
the
without
the the story has a lot of redemption qualities to it.
because everybody by the end does something that you don't like.
Right.
Jesse did that a lot for me. I was pissed at that dude a lot of the goddamn. But I'm like, man, you just being lame now. Why you being mean to these people? You know how much shit you done been through with these people. Just being mean, man. Now he talked to Tulip like shit for like half the comic.
Yeah.
Well, that's not right, dude.
But you find out why.
And Cassidy's my boy. I don't like his design, at all. To be honest with you, but I can live with it if they don't sacrifice who he is. I can live with it.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's one of my favorite comic characters ever.
I
So
kind of hope they open the series with him in World War I.
that's not gonna happen.
I, I, you know, actually, what would be really cool if they opened the series would be if they opened it with said demon and said angel,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and then fast forwarded about a millennia,
And then
and
you
then
see Jesse. That
and
would be
then
cool.
yes,
That would be cool. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I mean, that would actually, that would be all. Dare I say, better than how the comic started.
true,
Dare I say,
because then you kind of you know, but you don't know.
that would be cool. And I wonder how they're gonna handle the word. That's why the word.
The word.
I wonder how they'll handle that. Like how it'll be done.
I bet when he uses it, I bet they do because I bet it'll be something simple like they do a change in music.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
gotcha. Because I know you can't do red font in a TV show.
Yeah.
Well, that shit's awesome, man. If y'all don't know, well, I'm gonna spoil this, but pretty much he's given the word of God. Like,
Yes. Yes.
he can get
Jesse
people to
gets
do whatever.
possessed. We'll just pull out. Jesse gets possessed by a thing, and the thing basically gives him the word of God as a defense mechanism. And the word of God, what it is you will literally do anything Jesse tells you to do.
No matter what it
It is.
is.
Yes. You will literally do it. Which causes some really crazy stuff that I'm wondering how they're going to do in the comic or in the TV show, but I guess we will see.
That I'm excited because I love the book so much, but I just don't know, man. I hope they just get it. All I want is even if they take liberties with the see that's the thing. People think that I harp on and I'm sure they think you do the same thing. That I harp on whatever it is because it's not exactly how the source material. I don't mind as long
No,
as it makes sense. I don't mind, man. I don't
it,
mind
it,
at
it,
all.
it doesn't have to match it, but there's things like
I mean, take Game of Thrones. Like, don't they cut a lot of shit out that just don't need to be in it?
there's
They do
the
that.
in Game of Thrones the things that they've cut out. Okay, the important things are things that I am almost positive they're going to go back to, because basically what they're doing is they're cutting out one whole storyline. Okay, which is super important. And if you know the storyline, you know how the story ends. You know how the entire like people that read the books, they knew how the books were going to end at the end of book 2 because you could figure it out.
Okay.
You were like, "Oh, this is how it's going to end. This is what's going to happen. This makes sense." Okay, because of everything you were told before through inner dialogue and other things. And they basically cut all of that out, and there's like none of it. Like they've made like there are you can tell that they've literally not like they don't have time. There are things they have changed so they don't have to even really talk about it because
Or
they
they make a conscious effort for you not to think about it.
right
As you said. Okay,
right
I got you.
now next season you will probably get a whole bunch of what I'm talking about. That will probably
Okay.
be a big part of next season
Well, that's cool.
because
Yeah.
if John comes back.
If yeah,
Okay,
he's been
okay,
spotted on
okay,
set.
okay,
Like
okay,
he's
okay.
when you mean
When he comes back, the question will be, okay, well,
oh,
what?
spoiler by the
Yeah,
way,
yeah, yeah.
spoiler.
Why would she bring him back? Because the idea is that the Red Woman would bring him back. Why would she bring him back? And that pretty much gives away everything as soon as you find out. It is like one of the most important parts of everything. And then when everyone figures it out, they're going to be like, oh my lord. And then it's going to be, how do you get to said point? Because at this point, it's like, well, there's no way to get to said point. but to the point where you have to get
Because
to.
I heard the last book pretty much is like where season 5 ended.
Yes, right. Yeah. So next season, either they're going to do a lot of flashback stuff, which there's a ton of flashback stuff that they could do, uh, to kind of waste time until the next book comes out, because he almost has the next book done. I think they're just doing kind of final editing at this point, so it's not like they're that far ahead.
Yeah, well, yeah, source material. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind
Yeah.
like when they change something as long as it's it either enhances or it makes sense for what they're doing. Like
Yeah,
I don't mind.
because
Like the
some
Dark Knight series did it. Yeah, I mean, a lot of things have done it. X-Men, the movies have done it.
hmm
For the most part, for the most part, it was a little hiccup, but for
yeah.
the most part,
Well, I mean, even the thing is though that they've been true to the individual characters.
And
They,
that's the most important thing. That's why people don't understand. That's why every week I bitch and moan about The Walking Dead because I don't even recognize these people anymore. The reason, quick rant. The reason why, the reason why the comic works so well. I know Josh doesn't like it, but I think even he knows this. The reason why the comic works so well and the internet goes absolutely nuts when they kill someone is because it's never random. What Rob Kirkman does and Joss Whedon does the same shit, where they take someone, they make you care about them to the highest level, and he takes that person away. The problem with that show is that they have not done that yet. Like of everyone that's died, minus one character, everyone that's died, have you really cared? Have you really gave a fuck about them, whether they live or die? Has it been more? Has it been more about I can't believe that happened? Than oh my god, this character is gone. Do you get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying?
I get
That's my
exact.
problem with the damn show.
Well,
And
here,
everyone's going crazy about what happened 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, y'all are angry, but y'all are angry for the wrong reason. Because if they did what they do in the book, that moment would be y'all all would be in just y'all would be tore up. Like that fucked me up for a week. All right, like y'all would be tore up, man. Like y'all don't even understand. Y'all don't get it. That's why I get so bad because y'all don't get it.
well,
But go ahead, Josh. What were you gonna
here's a good
say?
example. When Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, instead of using Gwen Stacy, okay, he
Yeah.
used Mary Jane, and he put Mary Jane in many of the same spots that Gwen Stacy was in.
He certainly did. Remember the first movie with God? Like I bust out laughing, man. People didn't even know why I was laughing. I was like, cause that's the Gwen thing. It's like the same shot. Like that's the.
It was exactly the same, and it's like, and no one complained about that because it was like, that's okay, you know, it works.